Basketball continues tonight as Indiana welcomes in Jackson State. That game tips off at, another 7 o'clock tip. BTN, you can catch the broadcast on there. Indiana is a 22.5-point favorite, Chronic.
Yeah, it should be pretty similar to what we saw, I feel like, last game, quite honestly. This is, by design, this is the cupcake portion of the schedule. We get quite a bit of them at the Hall here in the non-conference season. But as we saw Sunday night, I think there's still a lot to be gained from these matchups right now for this particular team at this point in the season. As you guys were talking right before I jumped on, I thought it was a great opportunity to give that second line a lot of run and let them kind of show where they're at this point in the season. One of those games I felt like was huge, as you just mentioned, for Christian Lander. But pretty much everybody else on the bench that's not currently starting right now. About the only guy that I felt like really struggled with his minutes and has kind of been a recurring theme is Michael Durr. Otherwise, I thought pretty much everybody else that trotted out there really made the most of it. Now, there are certainly a lot of turnovers that were well beyond what should be acceptable for this team against that type of an opponent. Continue to be pretty concerned by some of those rebound numbers. This is a team that's not shown to be particularly strong on the glass. And those are two things that could be really costly as the season goes on. But as I mentioned Sunday night after the game finished up, this is why you play tune-up games, to wrinkle out or to iron out those types of wrinkles and to get everybody tightened up a little bit. But usually in November, it's just letting the chemistry gel and seeing where everybody stands. And it looks like there's a lot of guys that made a lot of pretty big strides over the offseason who are poised to give Indiana some pretty solid contributions across the board. This looks like it's going to be one of the deeper teams Indiana's perhaps had in several years.
I hear you on the St. John's game. I thought Chronic they expended so much energy, and particularly in the first half defensively, that I thought that they were a step slow on some of those defensive rebounds in the second half. And I do think that that's going to be a learning process too, because the 2 years with Archie the back line, they were so used to just kind of being stationary, and now they're really expending a lot of effort. And I think sometimes we saw in the Eastern Michigan game and we saw in the St. John's game that it's catching up to them a little bit in the second half, and that's something that they're going to have to continue to work through from a conditioning standpoint, from a depth standpoint, rotating in different guys. But I think they could shore that up if they can learn to sustain that energy level for a full 40 minutes.
Yeah, it reminds me of my rehab. They got me doing squats now and lunges and some pretty heavy leg work. And it's amazing how much better my first set is than my second set. And when I jump in that squat cage, it's hard work. It's really hard work. And it's going to be hard work. And, Indiana's second half, yes, they're getting the weight up. Just not quite with the gusto that you see in that first half. And it's going to be something that they've got to work on, because they're playing some phenomenal defense right now. Pomeroy shows they are currently leading the country in effective field goal defense. And again, it's a small sample set. It's early in the season, but that's pretty notable. They're leading the nation in 2-point defense percentage-wise. Excuse me. That's hard work, man. I've said this for years. I'll say it till I go to the grave. Playing good defense is hard work. If it were easy, every team would play good defense. The fact of the matter is, it's hard work, and this team's really getting after it on the defensive end right now. And that's probably the most remarkable component of what's their identity right now. They're going to get after you on the defensive end of the floor. They may not be that tough on the glass. They may not be that tight with the handles so far, but this is a team that's going to get after it. You don't see that big of a drop off as they get through the rotation. That's a great place to start. That's a great foundation to build a program on. But they've got to figure out a way to keep that intensity, that focus up in the second half. And part of it too, when you've got a double-digit lead, 20 points, whatever it may be, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to kind of let your foot off the gas a little bit and try to cruise to the finish line. And that you may get away with that against the Jackson States, against the Louisiana Lafayette's of the world. That's not going to cut it though once Big Ten season starts.
Is it true that Mike Woodson is the first IU coach to go 4-0 in his first season since Bob Knight?
I'd have to look that up, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I would too. I don't have my book handy here because I'm just looking at something. I'm like, that just sounds crazy. With a lot of times the schedules that you can have, a lot of times your early season schedule is pretty easy. That just seems a little shocking. But you only get one first year, and there's not that many of those guys. So Tom Crean didn't have that luxury. So we know Archie didn't. So because he lost his very damn first game, got killed. So then you go back to Kelvin Sampson. So
he lost his second game at Butler. IU fell 60-55 in game 2 of the Kelvin Sampson era.
And that leaves Mike Davis, and I'd have to pull that. So obviously he must have lost one. So wow, so there's a little bit of that's surprising to me, but there you go. So and I expect him to go. Actually, they're going to go 6-0 easily. I think. But then that's before the Syracuse game. That's when the Syracuse game comes, and Syracuse has not looked that good. To be honest with you, it doesn't mean anything because they're going to have to go on the road to Indiana, and Syracuse has more games to get better, and that's what you do right now. You just get better. But Indiana has an opportunity to really win a bunch of games here without losing up into the Big Ten schedule, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and that Syracuse game looks a whole lot more it looks a whole lot more attainable than perhaps it did at the start of the season. Syracuse fresh off a 15-point home loss against Colgate this weekend, last Saturday, in a bye game. Let Colgate hang 100 on them in the Carrier Dome, which is pretty much unheard of in the Jim Boeheim era for that type of result. I have zero idea what Colgate brings to the table, but I saw that come across the ticker, and that certainly raised some eyebrows. Pomeroy's now got that projecting a 1-point Syracuse win, gives Indiana 47% chance. With Indiana's defense right now, and Syracuse lack thereof at this point in the season, Indiana's got a pretty decent chance to run the table in the non-conference schedule. We'll see when that comes, but we get a little bit of a break here after this week, or after tonight, before that opportunity is going to present itself. I'm sorry. I guess we got Marshall on Saturday still. I forgot about that one. But no, it's certainly open. There's a path where you may very well see, especially if Indiana's able to pull that one out. My guess is Indiana cracks the top 25 if they can win up in Syracuse.